ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Rantarat Sima Bhagavatam ki jai. Gita Gorpakinananda ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories of the Son. All glories of the Son. All glories of the Son. All glories to Guru Karan's Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaimam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Chayam Madhirayat Nastapreshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Yutam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. So the prelude to the chapter Sloki Bhagavatam are 4 questions by Brahma to the Supreme Lord, because he got the darshan. You remember yesterday? You were here? So the he got darshan after a long time of meditation, taking austerity, becoming calm, making the mind pure, not nervous or stressy, going this direction and that direction, up or down. He tried first, but then he found out it's clever to be quiet, not to be overactive, because with passion nothing is attained. So he attained the platform of Shuddha Sattva, platform of purity, because the platform of purity is the platform where they can communicate with the Lord. With passion, ignorance, tama and rajas, not possible to make connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not in the heart and also not on the altar here. Maybe you notice if we are too much nervous, too many things in mind, we have not much connection to the deities. But if we are chanting nicely and are coming to the deity in a service attitude, then the Lord immediately responds. Immediately responds to because you come in service attitude. So Brahma had this service attitude. He was open. Whatever the Lord wants to make me do, I will do. I'm His servant. So you should not come in enjoying spirit to the Lord, and also not in the association of devotees, but as servant. This is very important. Because we are eternal servants, not eternal enjoyers. Because the enjoyment lies in the service. Even this service, this dasya, this servitorship of a sevaka, means a servant, is so much nectarian, so much sweet, that even the Lord Himself desires more to be a servant than to be enjoyer. Although He is eternally enjoyer, He's Purusha, he's the Supreme Purusha, Purushottama. If we speak about Purusha, we speak about the Lord as the Purusha, then we address him as Purushottama. Or Parama Purusha. These are the words. Because the living entity, you, he, you, all of you, everyone is a Purusha. The Jiva is also a Purusha. Because we all have a desire or a nature to enjoy, to relish rasa, to be pleasurable and happy. That's the nature of the Purusha, because Purusha is a person. And the supreme personal God is a supreme person, therefore is addressed as Purushottama or Parama Purusha. Living entity can never be Parama Purusha. Because in the material world we always try to enjoying the material objects, sense gratification. But instead that we enjoy, we become so much sufferer, because in the material world there's no real enjoyment. It's always a mixture between enjoyment and also unhappiness. The Lord is always enjoying. And he also wants that the living entity, his eternal part and parcel, enjoys with him. 3/4 of the whole jivas, living entities, are always residing in the spiritual world. They don't come in the material world. Only 1/4. It's enough. Because it's plenty. 1/4 of the whole Vaikunthas, of all the jivas, 1/4 is here. They are try to enjoy here in this world. They try to become like a god, like a Purusha. They want to use the Purusha mentality or nature. But when the Purusha Jiva ultimately understands that I'm not enjoying, that it's nicer to be a servant. And the best is to be the servant of the Lord. Although this is very difficult. Because we have to be very qualified. You cannot go directly in contact with the president of the country or with an important person. So you need a contact, somebody who knows him. So we all like to serve somebody who is very important. The greatest important person is God, although unfortunately we have forgotten him. So from Brahma, from this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, and in general from the Srimad Bhagavatam teaching, we can learn how to connect with the Supreme Lord by the examples and the realization of the devotees, of the Lord's devotees. In this way we can learn how to become, how to serve the Lord by following the example of the devotee. In material world we always want to enjoy as I would like to enjoy, how I like. And this is the problem. But if we are accepting the program of Bhagavatam process, then we can learn what actually pleases the Lord, the Supreme Personality of God. How can I make him happy? How can I connect with him? And then Bhakti will start. In material world, most of the people are inclined for karma, and if they are a little fried by karma with activities, then they become a little curious, speculative, of course, thinking about why I'm suffering, and they're thinking about different things, figuring out, reading different books. And ultimately, as Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanamamam Prabhatyante Vasudeva Savamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. after many, many lifetimes. In general, it can take a long time, this gyan, karma gyan. If a wise person comes to the understanding that Vasudeva, Krishna is everything, then he will surrender. But such a person is very rare. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, it's very rare. So Brahma, he has four heads, as we know, our Brahma from this universe. And he's very intelligent, he's very smart, and he can use his intelligence for Krishna pleasure. As we quoted verse yesterday, Tesham Satat Yuktanam, you remember the verse? Pachatam Priti Purvakam, Adami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenamam Upayantite. For those who are constantly serving Krishna, engaging his devotional service for his pleasure, and are always absorbed in him, I give them the intelligence how they can come to me. So that means we cannot understand or make a connection with Krishna by our conditioned nature, because we are too much conditioned by the mind, by our intellect, intelligence. But if this intelligence becomes purified by Buddhi Yoga, by devotional service, then with the pure intelligence we can understand Krishna. We can go in contact with him. This platform is called Vishuddha Sattvam. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shaktitam. So that the platform of devotional service is Vishuddha Sattva. As long we are not on Vishuddha Sattva, we can serve Krishna by following the rules and regulations of Vedic, following regulated devotional activities, rising early in the morning, taking shower, worshipping, going to Mangala Arati, worshipping deity, worshipping Guru, offering obeisances to the Vaishnavas, respect to the Vaishnavas, chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, 16 rounds minimum in ISKCON, and more if possible. Chanting Kirtaniya Sabhahari ultimately is perfect, all the time chanting. So Guru gives, and Vedic scriptures, they give us rules and regulations. That's a tapasya. Maybe we don't like it in the beginning, but we accept it. And it becomes a habit. Because we are all habit people. Everything is habit. We can have bad habits, we can have good habits. And the habit, and we identify ourselves so much with habits. And we consider these habits, it's me, it's I. But it's actually the wrong I. Therefore this is called false ego. The false ego, it's the attachment to the wrong habits and to the temporary. And in Krishna consciousness we learn how to identify our real I. There's a wrong I and a pure I. It means identification, ego. Because Krishna's ego, I, and he speaks aham, like the first verse of the 6 verses. The 4 verses, the main, and 2 introductory to the 4 of Chatusloki, Bhagavatam. He says aham. It's me. Actually, in the first verse, of his reply to Brahma, he says, "Aham, it's me. I'm in the beginning, I'm in the middle, and I'm in the end. I'm existing. Nobody else existing anymore." Of the wrong eyes. The wrong eyes are all dissolved, But the pure eyes, of course, the eternal living entities, who have a relationship with Krishna, they always stay in contact with him. And those who have a wrong identification, they will have to take one body after another and to go to the samsara. cycle of birth and death, traveling always from one body to another. And if the universe is destroyed, then they enter into the body of Mahavishnu. And then next time when Mahavishnu makes a creation again, all the living entities, the jivas, they take birth again, become manifest, and then they go again an unending circle of samsara, of birth and death is taking place. So Brahma, who is the architect and the engineer of this universe, he wanted to figure out from the Lord about the Lord's identity and about, he has different questions, so I want to read them. He had 4 questions. So he says, "O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the supreme director, and therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever. In spite of that, my Lord, I am praying to you to kindly fulfill my desire. May I please be informed how, in spite of your transcendental form, you assume the mundane form, although you have no such form at all. It means this universal form. And also the Lord making himself visible before Lord Brahma. So he was very curious. Please let me understand. What are your spiritual form and also your material forms, what you accept in the material body? Are they eternal or is there something temporary like our bodies? They're temporary. So what is the right understanding? So he was curious. Philosophy starts with curiosity, to be asking questions about the truth and about the life. And then the answers are coming from inside and from outside. And please inform me how you, by your own self, manifest different energies from annihilation, generation, that means creation, acceptance, and maintenance by combination and permutation. And so these are the prelude to this Chatusloka. In Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9, 27, 26, 25, these are the verses. Then Brahma says, "O Master of all energies, please tell me philosophically all about them. You play like a spider that covers itself by its own energy, and your determination is infallible." The spider example is very nice. A spider, he creates a whole web of a spider web to capture the flies and insects who are in it. And they're completely entangled, they never come out anymore if they're hanging in this spider's web. But the spider, although also a little insect, a little bigger maybe than a fly, he can walk around freely in this web. It's not entangled in it. It's created by him from his own survival. He makes this whole web. It's actually a nature fantastic thing, This is a material example, of course. But it's fantastic, how a little insect, can make such a web just to get some food, for his own nourishment, So he can make such a kind of a creation, and he is free in it. He will not become entangled. He's not captured in it, and he can at any time give it up. He's not attached. And if there's no need anymore, I go to another place and I make another web. So he can have many places that he makes a web. The difference of the spider and the Supreme Lord, who acts, who manifests his whole creation, and he can appear in it and can also disappear without becoming entangled. He can create without becoming entangled. But he can do this simultaneously in all the universes. The spider can be only in one web, at one time. But the Lord can be everywhere all the time, in all the different creations, in the spiritual world and in the material world. And He's always free. He's Lila Purushottama. He's always the supreme enjoyer. And in a relationship with His energies. But He enjoys. The Lord enjoys His energies. Because if you speak about a person always has energy. And the Lord is supreme energetic. So He has multiple energies. Actually, His energy is one, but it can work in so many different ways. So there's the three principles of energy: internal, marginal, and external. The internal is the pleasure energy of the Lord, Ladini Shakti, and the marginal is the Jiva Shakti, and the external energy is the Maya Shakti, the illusory energy. And the Lord is master of all the three of them. And He is not becoming a victim of this energy. His energy is all fully under His control. They all work for His interest. Only the marginal energy, the Jiva, has this free will that he can use it for Krishna pleasure, to serve Him, or to serve for his own eye interest, for his own sense pleasure, like the spider. And therefore there's a whole universe where he can travel around from one body to another, from one universe, one planet to another, becoming entangled in this, in his own fruitive activities. He cannot come out of his own effort. Therefore the Lord mercifully, He manifested the Vedas, the Vedic scriptures, through Brahma, because Brahma is Veda Garbha, is a reservoir of Vedas, because the Lord has stored this Vedic knowledge in Brahma for the purpose of creation, maintenance of creation, and also enlightenment of the creation. To enlighten and inspire the living entities to find out about their original identity as an eternal servant of Krishna, the Supreme Lord. This is the purpose of the Vedas. So this is real knowledge. It's called Vidya. In creation there's two things, Vidya and Avidya. Living entities will take shelter in the material world, becomes covered by Avidya, and loses his identity as a servant to Krishna, so he identifies, I'm the joy. It's me, I'm the center of the universe, everything is turning around me. And as long we think like that, we have to stay in the material world. Because everyone thinks only about I. And if you do it for yourself, or in a club, or in the national interest, or for a club interest, or for a personal family interest, everything is the I in the center. I and mine. This is why we are in this material world. And to come out of this material world, we have to change this conception, wrong conception of I and mine. As long as we have this I and mine concept, even if you think that it's a very good one, a good, very I and my concept, according to everyone thinks like that. My concept is very good, but it is still not in yoga or in the interest of the Supreme I's interest, means Krishna's interest. Then we have to stay in the material world. We cannot come out. We are captured by Durga, by the external energy of the Lord. It's like a prison police lady who keeps you in this prison of material existence. So Brahma, he wanted to find out a way how to create in such a way, because he had a fear, he was afraid, because he knew I have a gigantic job ahead of me to recreate the whole universe with all the living entities, uncountable living entities. Oh my God! What kind of job, what kind of a responsibility? And he thought, oh my Lord, please give me protection, that I will become not a victim of my own creation. Like we all become victims of our own mind, the creation of our mind, even if little. Even if you almost have nothing, but if you have so much I identification, you then never will want to give it up. Even in the time of that, it's difficult to give it up. Even you are suffering, still you want to hold so much on this I and mind. And you want to make last arrangements, to save my I and mind. And everything will be alright. But there's not a good destiny for I and mind. Only good destiny is if you change this I and mind in the identification that I'm Krishna's. And the mind it belongs to him, so I engage it in his service. And that's how Krishna told to Brahma later on, if you act in such a way, you will never be entangled in any form in this creation, or in any place what you are doing, if you are conscious about me, about the Supreme I. So Krishna said, no, this is still a question of Brahma, or words of Brahma. From text 28. O Master of all energies, please tell me, philosopher, I read this already. Tell me. You play like a spider that covers itself by his own energy, and your determination is infallible. So nobody can stop the determination and the desire and the mission of the Lord. Text 30, no, 29. 29, yeah. Please tell me so that I may be taught in the matter by the instruction of the personality of Godhead. I may thus act instrumentally to generate living entities without being conditioned by such activities. So people want to become conditioned so that you always act instrumental. If you actually always be in the everything in the consciousness that you do everything for the pleasure of Krishna, you will never become entangled. As long as we think everything in terms of I and mind, we always entangled. We always have to be in stress and afraid how to maintain my I and minds. The next he says, "Oh my Lord, O unborn one, you have shaken hands with me, just as a friend does with a friend, as if equal in position. I shall be engaged in the creation of different types of living entities, and I shall be occupied in your service. I shall have no perturbation, but I pray that all these may not give rise to pride, as if I were the Supreme." And he was very much afraid that I would become proud of my creation, of my deeds, of my good work. And because Brahma is also a jiva, he's also a jiva purusha, so he also has this tendency, he knows the tendency is I can become proud. The Supreme Lord never will become proud. It's not in his nature, because he is always aware about everything. There's nothing out of his control. He does, and he is never proud. That's the Lord. But we living, tiny living entity always have nature to be proud. Even on little things, we become proud if I achieve a little something. Also when we distribute maybe some books, I'm preaching a little, helping Guru Maharaj in spreading Krishna consciousness, and some result coming in, we become proud. Or we become proud in position, proud on how I'm managing nicely the temple, or how many temples I was building for Guru and Krishna. So this is all can rise, can give us living entities an opportunity to increase our proud instead of diminishing proud. We have to diminish proud, we're not increasing proud. This we should never forget, that we are not enjoyers, we are not meant to be proud, because proud is a demoniac mentality that binds to this material world. One of the 6 qualities of a demon, or somebody who was very materialistic, who is not God conscious, is proud. Damba. Damba means he is very proud, very arrogant in his behavior, in his whole nature. This is not very sympathetic. Nobody likes proud and arrogant people. Although in this world, because nowadays you are considered a loser if you are not, how to say, somebody, self-esteem and appearing a little proud and in control. You are considered a loser. And the opposite of loser is you are humiliated, you are degraded. But that's not spiritual, that's only the opposite of proud, is you become humiliated, you become degraded, you become fallen. But humility, genuine humility, means I understand my eternal nature. I'm very insignificant. Actually, Srila Prabhupada one time, he showed one devotee by practical example the insignificance of his disciples. That means we can all put ourselves in this position of that disciple. So Srila Prabhupada said, just consider, there is unlimited spiritual worlds. And there are 3/4 of living entities, of all living entities that live there eternally. They never come in material world. 3/4 with unlimited, always expanding planets with unlimited dimensions. And then, and 1/4 of this whole spiritual creation, 1/4 is material world. And in this material world itself, there are so many universes, uncountable universes. And in every universe, there are uncountable planets, planetary systems. There are so many planets. Scientists are always amazed to find out new planets and worlds. So they're amazed. Oh, again, but so far away from us. So there is this, and then Prabhupada says, on every planet there are so many countries. So many countries, so many flags. And everyone thinks my country is the best. And everyone becomes very, very national concentrated. Oh, I'm German, I'm Swiss, I'm American, I'm Indian. And we become very, identify ourselves so much with it. And amongst, in every country, there are so many cities and so many villages. And in one of these cities, there are so many houses. And in one of the houses, there's one person with the name such and such. And he thinks himself, I'm the center of the universe. So that's Prabhupada gave this example to one of his disciples, leading disciples. So that's very very nice to understand how insignificant we are if we actually see the whole picture. So we are insignificant, and we cannot achieve anything on our own substantially. And if we achieve something, we immediately become attached to it, and we become proud to it, about it. And if this proudness comes out of control, we become very arrogant, very crazy, and want to control more and more, make more and more our life and other lives miserable. Coming from this comes from this identification with this bodily concept. But if a devotee who is Krishna conscious is always feels connected with Krishna, never forgets Krishna, and stays in association of devotees, and always understanding his position, eternal position as an eternal servant of Krishna, and that I'm not a controller, I'm not the enjoyer. This makes me only miserable. Then we can actually relish something without becoming proud. And if you feel a little proud is coming because of some nature or some attachment, then we should immediately become alarmed. We should in your mind say, oh, be careful now, because proud comes before fall. Proud comes before fall, because we can immediately understand, or also if we have a good enjoying spirit, and everything is we can enjoy nicely, we should also feel alarmed. Oh, now we have to be careful, because after what Krishna says, after too much enjoyment, misery will come. Immediately some problem will arise, and in the high point of our enjoyment. And we know the misery will follow after that. And after misery will be after some time. We also know enjoyment will come after some time. So it will always change. But the devotee can actually reduce misery and this nature of becoming proud or attached by being immediately with the intelligent awake, with the pure intelligence, the Dhammi Buddhi Yogam Tam, given by Krishna and by Krishna conscious philosophy. We can immediately learn how to stay awake and immediately alert ourselves. So now I have to be careful and take shelter in Krishna, spiritual master. To always feeling dependent on them. And pray that we will not become attached to our creation, to our kinds of activities that we are performing. Whatever, big or smaller. We should pray like Brahma, that the Lord will protect the devotee in his service to the spiritual master or to a Sankirtan mission. And we can also see if we as soon as when we come in, be instrumental in book distribution, for example, remember? When you're fully absorbed and thinking about, not even thinking about much, about helping the people, but just let the books going out. Never mind about result, never mind about anything, just happy to be there out and distributing the books. Not even happy, because as soon we feel happy and we think, oh, now it's so nice. Hopefully it will go on like that. So then immediately, as soon the mind will be in the game, then it will go out, down. So we cannot be instrumental anymore. So by book dissolution we can learn this very nicely, how to engage in such a way that we will not become attached. Because as soon as we become attached, then the books are not flowing anymore. And if we are not attached, if we are in the service attitude, not thinking about result and how I feel now, then everything will go on nicely. Because then Krishna is distributing the books. His internal energy, the books, any service that we actually doing is taking place like that. So we are now in text 30 of 9th chapter. And so now the Lord, in 31, the Lord speaks, he gives he is revealing himself in form of words, sound, Shruti, sound is Shruti, Veda is Shruti. Therefore these 6 verses, they are direct Shruti, they are in correspondence with Atata Brahma Jigyasa, with the Vedanta Sutra verses. That it is I who is the beginning of everything. Jamadi Asayata. For me, everything comes. Like yesterday in the Bhagavad Gita, Ahamsa Vasya Prabhu, Bhagavad Gita 10:8. Everything comes from me. Here again, Krishna says, Jnanam Parama Goyame Yat Vijnana Samamvitam Sa Rahasyam Sadangam Cha Grihana Gatitam Naya. Personality of Godhead said, knowledge about me, as described in the scriptures, is very confidential, and it has to be realized in conjunction with the devotional service. The necessary paraphernalia for that process is being explained by me. You may take it up carefully. Although Brahma was already attentive to hear from the Lord, to learn from him, to be his disciple, to be subordinated, to accept him as supreme authority, Krishna tells him, you may take it up carefully. Be attentive. Don't waver away with your attention. Listen carefully. It's very important. When one hears about Vedic knowledge, we have to listen very carefully, very attentively. Because that's the way how the Lord reveals himself in form of sound vibration in the heart of the devotee. Then that gives a change in the heart. Otherwise we cannot change our heart, ourselves. But only by the transcendental sound. Bhagavatam, like the holy name, Bhagavatam is transcendental sound. And if we are regularly listening, absorbing in the transcendental sound, then there will be change in heart. Vidyantax tu bhadrami vidunoti savitsatam. Then the heart will change. The Lord will help to change ourselves in the heart. Lord Brahma is the topmost devotee of the Lord. Prabhupada is pointing out in the purport within the universe. And therefore the personality of Godhead replied to the 4 principal inquiries in 4 important statements, which are known as the original Bhagavatam in 4 verses. 4 verses. Original Bhagavatam only has 4 verses. Can easily read. But although it is only 4 verses, even for me, I read Bhagavatam so many times, and I read these verses so many times. Sometimes it's very difficult to grasp, because it is Sarahasyam, it is a mystery, and it's Guyatamam, it's Guyam. Guyam means very, very deep. It's very, very confidential. Like Krishna tells to Arjuna, I tell you about this confidential knowledge of Bhagavad Gita because you are my devotee. You have faith in me, you are not envious on me. And I know you will not become proud and you will not misuse this knowledge what I will reveal to you. Because if you reveal good knowledge to a fool, you know what will happen? He will only make it worse. He makes everything worse. Therefore we should not give knowledge, good knowledge to a fool, to a rascal, to a cheater. He will misuse it for his own purpose. But Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he's not befooled, you know. He's the most intelligent, the most clever. He understands the heart of a devotee. And therefore, this knowledge of what Krishna reveals personally, like Bhagavad Gita itself, you read maybe many times, you know, but who can say, I understood Bhagavad Gita as it is? You can read Bhagavad Gita so many times. And you can read Bhagavatam so many times. Because we cannot understand these words of the Lord and His devotees by our own mind, by our own reasoning. Not possible. Only if we become instrumental, if we are becoming attentive, surrendered. This is very important, surrender. That's what people don't like to hear in this world. Surrender. Because everyone wants to be free. Not surrender. Surrender means, oh, I'm obliged now, I'm conditioned. I'm not free anymore. But actually the secret of surrender to Krishna is freedom. And not surrendering to Krishna and only thinking about you, or surrendering to the material energy, it's entanglement. So we cannot be free on our own, only through surrender. Therefore devotional service starts with surrender. Sharanagati. To accept that what is favorable, to reject that what is unfavorable, to take Krishna as one's only shelter and maintainer, and to always be meek and humble and fully surrender. These 6 processes of Sharanagati, that's the beginning of a sadhaka. Without these 6 processes of Sharanagati, of surrendering, we cannot entering in the mystery of the knowledge that Krishna is revealing here in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a mystery, and the mystery is always locked. It's locked. Like this machine here also locks all the time. It's locked, and only if the Lord is revealing, is opening this lock, this treasure to the treasure house of knowledge, then you can get the knowledge. Then you can get the nectar. We have no this treasure, this lock is very safe. Nobody can break in, because it's a material treasure. It's the Premadana on the heart. It's very much confidential, very deep. And this Premadana, what Krishna has, all this knowledge about Him, about His world, about His relationship with Him, about His devotional service, is very, very deep. And it can only become realized, understood, not realized, realized later. First understand, then realize. First Gyan, then Vigyan. So So therefore, first the Lord reveals it by Vedic knowledge. But even if you read Vedic knowledge so many times, if you don't have the mercy of Krishna, mercy of the devotee, mercy of devotional service, Bhakti Devi, we should not forget. This mercy we all need. We are all beggars. Think, oh, I'm very smart, I'm very powerful, I'm very intelligent, I'm very capable. But what can we do if we don't have the mercy? The mercy is not coming if we are puffed up. If you are always thinking about I am mine, what is my interest? What I can get up? Can I be the center? If I'm not the center, okay, I go out of it. You have to forget yourself, but you only can forget yourself if you know on what you have to focus. And only if you have to focus on Krishna and remain steady there by Krishna and Guru mercy, Vaishnava mercy, then it will be possible, otherwise not possible. So this confidential knowledge is a mystery, but only can be revealed and be understood by the Lord Himself, by His mercy. That's Krishna says. Only by my mercy, His knowledge is revealed. And only by my mercy, you will understand. If it is revealed, but that you cannot understand, it's a use. Therefore Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, therefore Krishna spoke the 4 verses, the whole Vedic knowledge, that is very complicated, unending. He made it so compact in 4 verses, so that the materialistic person will not understand. He will be completely puzzled. Will not understand anything. Only the devotee who is surrendered will understand. Who has a service attitude, who is Krishna's devotee, he can understand. And even this understanding maybe will not come immediately. It maybe can take some time of steady surrendering. Surrendering is not only one time, but then it's finished. On the initiation day. Because you maybe have seen today, many bright faces, very surrendered. But let's see how much they surrendered in 10 years, or in 1 year even. Make picture today and the picture in 1 year or in 10 years from the same person. And interview that person. So it's a cultivation. Surrendering is a cultivation. It's a process. It's not just a slogan. It's not a slogan. It's a process. Accepting everything favorable for Krishna service, rejecting that what is unfavorable. There we can make a whole seminar about that. About time, how the time is. It's not on our side. And that means surrendering means to always be under Krishna's protection, under Krishna's shelter, as accepting only Him as the maintainer, and always remain meek and humble, and fully surrender all the time. Even if you are not succeeding every day or all the time, we have to work in this direction so that we can achieve it all the time. By practice, by developing good habits, transcendental habits, spiritual habits. So this is here, we always learn and exercise is surrendering to Krishna, to the spiritual master, to the process of Krishna consciousness. And this is what Krishna is revealing here, confidentially, through Brahma and through the disciplic succession of Brahma, now by mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the whole Guru Parampara. We know now so much about Vedic scriptures, about this knowledge, but still, if we don't have the good luck and the dedication to surrendering process, we will still not understand, and we fall asleep during Bhagavatam class or during Bhagavatam study. We feel boring, and then we prefer to read other books or films, movies, and what we think this is more enlivening. But what is enlivening? Only your senses, your mind, your polluted mind. It keeps you in the material world. So if you want to become free of this material conditioning, if you really get this knowledge and also get a realization, this is Krishna's mercy. If you can realize it, receive first the knowledge, and then that you can realize it is again mercy, double mercy, 10-time mercy. And only then we can start to understand our position, visible, and pray to Krishna, cry for Krishna, for being always, that he always keeps us engaged in the devotional service. So I'm almost finished, believe it or not. Only will read a few lines here, and then we have it. Be a little quieter in the back. Prasadam will be ready soon. So the prelude to the answer in this verse, under discussion, wherein the Lord informs Brahma that knowledge of him, the Supreme Absolute Truth, as it is stated in the revealed scriptures, is very subtle and cannot be understood unless one is self-realized by the grace of the Lord. That's important. By the grace of the Lord, self-realized. Many people think, oh, I'm self-realized, or I'm endeavoring to self-realization, as it will be in your hand. No, it's only possible that if the Lord giving you the mercy to realize. Otherwise, we realize something completely different about ourselves, what we consider ourselves, what is maybe not our real self. It is an illusion. Because Krishna later on he says, whatever seems to be a reality besides of me, or in relation with me, but it's not in relation with me, it's an illusion. It's like a reflection of the light somewhere. It is an illusion. It is not the eternal fact. Only the Lord ultimately remains. And only the devotional service to the Lord and the devotee who is purified in this direction will remain. Therefore there's three things that we should never forget. Bhaktya, Bhakti, and Bhakta. Bhaktya is the enjoyer or the one who accepts Bhakti. Bhakta is the devotee, and Bhakti is the process. These belongs together. Bhakti, Bhakta, Bhaktya. Krishna is Bhaktya. We are Bhakta. And the process to please Krishna is Bhakti. Always keep this in mind, in heart. Never forget. This means that transcendental knowledge of the Absolute Supreme Being can be known if it is made known by the Lord Himself. Only if He wants to distribute it, if He reveals, then it can be known to the people or for the jivas in this material world. Otherwise, it's not possible. You cannot buy it somewhere in a shopping center, in the bookstore, unless the Lord revealed and empowered distributor represent of Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada's mercy of Sankirtan, and we cannot get it. And that's also only the beginning. You receive the book first, then you read it, then you find address inside. You go to the temple, you learn how to cultivate Krishna consciousness and what is written in the book. So book distribution is one thing. But ultimately we also have to make the people inspired or interested in reading these books and in living these books. And this only is possible if the devotees themselves live the book. They only distribute book, but I don't live the book. What's that? That's cheap. That's only businessmen. Many book distributors, they only distribute, they don't even know what they distribute. What is written. They didn't write it themselves. Prabhupada wanted that we all read his books, that we learn his books, like a lawyer knows law book, that we always know where is what, and that we apply it in our life as our daily sadhana. Then we can distribute it. Then you know what you distribute, and that will stay. And then the people will become interested. They come to the temple, you can tell them something by your own example. Actually, the best is not only the words, also your own example. You should not only become good, great philosophers, we have to become also good practitioners. Not only practitioner in sadhana, but also in behavior. Be gentle. Prabhupada said, Vaishnava means gentleman, not ruffian. We have to learn. Although we cannot learn it, because Vaishnava etiquette, Vaishnava behavior, it's naturally coming if you become purified. If you're surrendering to Krishna, naturally your mentality will change. Even unnoticeably, you change yourself to a better person. You become more mild, you become more merciful, more kind, more well-wishing. This is Vaishnava, more with a service attitude. It's natural. And we'll not just be fanatic. We try to become number one. Because number one we anyway cannot become. Krishna is number one. Don't forget. Can maximum be number 2 or 3. Because there's whole Guru Parampara also after Krishna. So we are far. So we are servants of the servants. So not the numbers. This means the transcendental knowledge of the Absolute Supreme Being is known, can be known, and is made known by the Lord Himself. By the mental speculators of the greatest mundane thinkers, the absolute truth cannot be understood. So if you speculate, not understood. Nayam atma pravachinena nabhya nabahuna shatena. It's not understood. Only if the Lord is kind to you, is merciful by service attitude, and endeavor, then Krishna will give it to you. He will prepare everything. The mental speculators can reach up to the standard of impersonal Brahman realization, but actually complex knowledge of transcendence is beyond the knowledge of impersonal Brahman. Thus it is called the supreme confidential wisdom, because it's above Brahman. Brahman is the light, the tasting light. Most of the modern yogis and also the yogis in the past were dazzled by this divine light. They call it the white light, the divine light, the loving light. So many different names they have for the light. But actually light is only the light coming from Krishna. Behind the light is a person. That is important. So the Brahman effulgent is one aspect, but the Bhakti yogi, the Vaishnava, who has received proper knowledge from the bona fide Acharya in the disciplic succession of Brahma, they will accept this knowledge and realize this knowledge and will therefore not show interest in Brahma. Brahma, the realization is insignificant for a devotee because he has only interest in the personality of Godhead. Thus it is called the supreme confidential knowledge or wisdom. This what Krishna gives here. Out of many liberated souls, someone may be qualified to know the personality of Godhead. Amongst millions, it is said later on in the Bhagavatam, only very rarely somebody amongst the millions of siddhas who are perfect in realization of Brahman, only rarely one becomes a Narayana Para, pure devotee of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita it is also said by the Lord himself that one of many hundreds and thousands of people, one may try for perfection in human life, and out of many liberated souls, one may know him as he is. Therefore, the knowledge of the personality of Godhead may be attained by devotional service only. Rahasyam here means devotional service. It is confidential. It's a mystery. Lord Krishna instructed Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita because he found Arjuna to be a devotee and friend. Without such qualification, one cannot enter into the mystery of Bhagavad Gita, and of course also not Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, one cannot understand the personality of Godhead unless one becomes a devotee and discharges devotional service. This mystery is love of Godhead, ultimately. Therefore, sadhana is an anga of prema. It's not everything. Sadhana is the beginning. It's a part of the prema. The whole thing what is going on in bhakti is prema. So sadhana is a purification process so that we can change our habits to make devotional habits favorable for bhakti, and then gradually raga, attachment, and ultimately prema will appear. Therein lies the main qualification for knowing the mystery of the personality of Godhead, and to attain the stage of transcendental love of Godhead, regulative principles of devotional service must be followed. It's a must. The regulative principles are called Vidhi Bhakti, or the devotional service of the Lord, and they can be practiced by a neophyte with his present senses. Such regulative principles are mainly based on hearing and chanting of the glories of the Lord, and such hearing and chanting of the glories of the Lord can be made possible in the association of devotees only. Because others, they will not hear and chant about Krishna, they will hear about so many other things and chant. Lord Chaitanya therefore recommended 5 main principles for attaining perfection in devotional service. The first is association with devotees. It's the first. Association, sadhu sangha, devotee service. Second is chanting the glories of the Lord. It means chanting the holy name. Third is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of pure devotees. Fourth, residing in a holy place, connected with the Lord, either in holy dham, like Vrindavana or Mayapur, or in a temple. And if you have not this opportunity, then you should arrange your home like a temple, and on your heart, and always think about Krishna in this way, in separation of a temple or in separation of Vrindavana. If you think about Vrindavan in separation, and you practice in this consciousness, then you always live in Vrindavan. And if you live in Vrindavan and your consciousness is completely different, thinking about so many other things, then you don't live in Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan is not a geographical place. Vrindavan is a mood. Vrindavan, if you go to Vrindavan today, it maybe look shocking to you. So many houses, skyscrapers, look many things like daily, so much garbage, so many monkeys, so much pollution. So you will be surprised, oh, this should be Krishna's world. But this is only external. You have to enter the mystery, the rahasya of Sri Vrindavana. In this mood, one can enter. And then you see there's no better place, no more ecstatic place than Sri Vrindavana. Because it's Krishna's, and Krishna's eternal associates, Radha, Krishna, Krishna Balaram, their eternal place. It is said, wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Balaram, wherever there are the cowboys and the gopis, that's Vrindavana. That's Vrindavana. That's always taking place. This mood is always there, even in the Kali Yuga. That mood is there, it never leaves Vrindavan. Therefore, when they come to Vrindavan, they have to learn about this mood by hearing about Vrindavan as it is. Not see the Kali Yuga symptoms of Vrindavan. That's not Vrindavan. But even that is attractive. Even the mass in Vrindavan is attractive if you have a taste in the Vrindavan. Even if you know that the people maybe tricks you externally, if you come there, you start to love them. Because if you make friendship with the Vrijavasi, when you come a little close to them, you see they're the best people in the whole universe. Nobody more sweet, more nectarian, but the one that you, the one to see your devotion. Your bhajan, your kirtan, your dedication to Krishna. And I see that, then they become, they reveal themselves to you. Even the Vrijavasis are rahasya. It's a mystery. Mystery means it is not just, I would say, revealed or available for you just by visiting and by buying a ticket. It's only revealed by bhakti, by the association and service to the devotees and to the holy Dham, Sri Vrindavan Dham. In service attitude. Radharani means the supreme servitor. That means service attitude in Vrindavan. It's the key. Devotional service attitude to Vrindavan Dham. That's the key to enter Vrindavan. Therefore, devotees always try to carry the dust of Vrindavan Dham on their head. People think they're crazy. Who cares the dust of the land on the head? You know, and takes and it becomes crowd on it. That's his most valuable decoration. That's his greatest wealth. Yeah, it's like that. Because a devotee who lives in Vrindavan or who has a Vrindavan experience, he sees there's nothing else. There's nothing else what counts, what has a benefit. And Srila Prabhupada, he was there in Vrindavan. And even though he so-called left, he came to America, he brought the Vrindavan spirit with him. He said, I'm far away from Vrindavan now, but in my heart I'm always in Vrindavan now. And I'm only coming. And then Prabhupada said, but some of you ask, why you left if your heart is always in Vrindavan? Who in the world lives a nice place, your home? Prabhupada says, Vrindavan is my home. Who will leave home, to go to a miserable place like New York City? To hell? That's the question. And Prabhupada says, because I'm duty bound. It is my mission. My Guru Maharaj told me. My Guru Maharaj told me I should go to the West and preach Krishna consciousness to the ignorant, to bring them the Bhagavatam and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya in English speaking. Therefore, I'm here. I'm duty bound. So this is Prabhupada's great mercy, his great sacrifice. So he sacrificed his life, his whole time. He could stay in Vrindavan. The Vrindavasi or the sadhus who live in Vrindavan, they will never leave Vrindavan. They take vow, never leave Vrindavan. And Prabhupada, he so-called left Vrindavan because he had mission. He came there to get the blessings of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, his own Guru Maharaj, all the great Vaishnava Acharyas who live in Vrindavan eternally as Radha Krishna's eternal associates. He always prayed to them for their mercy, especially to Rupa Goswami and Jiva Goswami, which just was living nearby. And every day pray to them, please give me mercy, capable, so that I can fulfill the mission of my Guru Maharaj, to speak, to present this Bhagavatam and these teachings of Lord Chaitanya, that the people will understand it. So Prabhupada, he became the living Bhagavatam, who came from Vrindavan as ambassador to bring us more near to Krishna, bring us to the spiritual world, to Krishna's eternal abode. So therefore the land of Vrindavan is as worshipable as Krishna himself. And therefore to live always in a holy place, either physically or by the mind or in the spirit, this is one of the 5 most important angas of a sadhaka in devotional service. And then the last one is deity worship, to always dedicate yourself to the deity, Gauritai, Radha Krishna, Krishna Balaram, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. We see so many deities here. It's a whole mela of a deity, exhibition of deities. And every devotee one can see. I made some pictures from many of the deities. I see that there's so much dedication, so much love the devotees giving to these deities. This is very essential, this deity worship. Because if we don't worship, if we are not concentrated on Archa Vigraha, then we're just concentrated on Vigraha, beautiful woman, the form of beautiful woman or the woman about the man, only having this in mind all the time. And then we live in hell. But if we are always meditating and serving the Archa Vigraha, the deities of the Lord, then we live always in the spiritual world. Then we can associate with the Lord. Brahma, he could directly associate with the Lord, but only for a short time. But nowadays, you have much mercy, by mercy of Lord Chaitanya, that we can associate with the deity, Krishna, who is not different from Krishna. We can chant the holy name. We can have the Srimad Bhagavatam reading all the time, again and again, crying more and more of sorrow. Never think I'm finished with Bhagavatam study. Let me take something else now. Always go on, and it becomes more and more sweet. You become more and more deeper in it. And then what you will realize, Bhagavatam is Krishna himself, who appeared amongst us to give us opportunity for devotional service. Praise the Prabhupada, Sankirtan, Yagya, Ki, Jai. So maybe tomorrow we have questions and because now it's prasadam. Thank you very much. Tomorrow again, 1:15. We continue with the next verse. Hare Krishna.
Rohinisuta Prabhu ki jai.